Hi Pisces, welcome to August. This is your horoscope, taroscope for August 2020 in Leo season. So there is a full moon in Aquarius. It is the most normal full moon that we've had since the very beginning of the year. There's been supermoons, there's been eclipses. This one is in Aquarius, so it's not so normal. But for you, that's your 12th house. So particularly for Pisces moons and Pisces rising, this is your 12th house. And let's talk about that, particularly your trust issues, because one of the things that came up in the cards, Pisces, because I've drawn them all off screen and made you this own stack of cards, one of the things that came up for you Pisces was, you know, when your intuition and fear become impossible to separate, to distinguish. And for a lot of you, the reason that you have trust issues in general with people, if you do, you know, maybe some of you are watching this and thinking, I don't have any, but we'll get to you. The reason that you have trust issues a lot of the time, Pisces, is because you sense everything. And when you sense everything in a world where a lot of the time we're taught to use rationality, we're taught to use our logical mind and facts, of course, which is important. Don't get me wrong, that is important. But many times, because you sense so much that you can't make sense of, particularly with other people, particularly going into the surface, a lot of the time when you sense so much and you can't always put it into categories, you can get it wrong, you can sense it wrong, or you can ignore it, and then you develop a trust issue with yourself and with other people. And for a lot of you with this full moon in the 12th, connecting with your third house of communication and siblings and verbalizing and these kinds of things, it's in tension with that. It's not the best full moon to try and explain everything through facts because it can get very muddled. But it's also not the best full moon to assume you know everything, because the full moon, of course, is associated with secrets coming out, and it's associated with the unseen being seen. And in the 12th house, Pisces, the odds are, I feel that it's more to do with you. It's more to do with the stuff that's going on inside you. So the reason I say that, Pisces, is because I feel that there is somebody in your past that you had really strong trust issues with. Okay, and I think for a lot of you, it doesn't matter gender wise, but the cards that came up were the distorted masculine, which is somebody who feels the need to control, the need to be powerful over other people, the need to manipulate people, to control people, to, you know, the distorted masculine is also somebody, Pisces, who will discredit your emotions, who will gaslight you and validate your feelings. That kind of energy is coming up for this. Now, it could also be that this is you and that you feel the need to be successful in everybody else's definition but your own of happiness. You know, this is when you're living to have more money, to flex, to appear like you have everything all together, even though it's not making you happy. You know, it's not making you happy. The more that you accumulate and the more that you, by your own definition, impress people, you're not happy. Because one of the things with the distorted masculine is that it is forever unsatisfied when it's distorted. You know, you could have a mansion in Beverly Hills and all the money in your bank account and be very lonely and unhappy. That kind of feeling. And that's not to say that you shouldn't want nice things at all. It's just to say that with the distorted masculine is that this energy is prevalent in your psyche. And I think that another thing that's coming up for you, Pisces, with the envy card is that a lot of you have dealt in the past with false friends or friends who have been envious of you, or people that have been envious of you and sort of sabotaged your moves, is something that's coming up here as affecting you now. And perhaps with the 12th house you are doing this clearance, and I think you are doing a bit of a clearance with this 12th house full moon, because other cards that came up for you were the release card, which is death in this deck, but it's releasing the old, the end of a phase or situation, spiritual transformation, time to move on. And you're being asked, Pisces, with these cards and this full moon, to leave something in the past that is really affecting how you put yourself out into the world. Because with Pisces, you aren't necessarily envious people, but you can sure attract it in others because you have this otherworldly spiritual connection to more, and that can be very threatening to people that are unaware of their own personal power or unaware of the fact that that type of thing is a beautiful thing. It's that kind of thing. I feel that there is a lot of people around you that are maybe a bit envious of you, or there have been people who have hurt you through envy and distorted masculine energies. So for a lot of you, I think that was maybe to do with love. But for others of you, it could have been anything, Pisces. It's just that it's coming up as something that you really need to let go of now. You know, people that have made you feel bad for having feelings, invalidated your feelings, people that have made you feel bad for the things that you do have, or trying to fit in with everybody else, keep up with the Joneses, that kind of thing, because that weighs heavy on your spirit. So that's the stuff that you need to work through. However, with the Dreamer, the Lovers, and the Chariot, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities, intimate relationships, and important achievements and public recognition, Pisces. I feel that you're going into a period leading up to the full moon in your sign where you're getting more comfortable with putting yourself out there emotionally or going forward with your dreams because they're being authentic to you. Because the Lovers card is in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's the two naked people, and that's representative of vulnerability. Right, so it's going forward being vulnerable, it's going forward being powerful, because the Chariot is always very triumphant. And you know, the Chariot can also very quickly turn into that distorted masculine energy where you'll step on everybody to get what you want, but I don't think that's what's coming up for you. I think that, you know, with the stars being what they are, with the 6th house and 2nd house trining, which is your day-to-day routine and your work, as well as your money, because this is Leo season. It's all about work, it's all about your routine, and it's connecting beautifully with Mars in your financial sector. You have this really strong desire to make money, to make things happen, to create projects that can be fruitful, to invest money, and your relationship with your money is getting a little bit of harmony. But with the Capricorn energy in your wish fulfillment sector challenging it, Pisces, I think that a lot of you are realizing that in particular toxic friendships of the past could have been holding you back in terms of how much you went after for yourself. You know, because it's just one thing that I'm very much seeing with these cards, especially the Envy card, is that people have maybe told you that you cannot do things, that you shouldn't aspire for things. And sometimes when you have Pisces in your chart very intimately, people they want to project onto you, and when you don't live the life that they want you to, and Pisces rising, I understand this completely, especially with friendships. If you don't live the life that they want you to, you don't behave the way they want you to, they can get very frustrated. And with the Dreamer card, the Lovers, and the Chariot, I feel that you are moving towards your goals with great speed, and you're discovering that you want to have a new start, which is beautiful, because with the Death card and the Fool card, you're 100% going through a new path. And I think for a lot of you as well, with the North Node and Venus connecting in your family sector, you're being shown the way through making peace with your past. You know, the 4th house is very past oriented. It's showing you the way to make peace with your past and progress forward, right? So you're making peace with your past in a beautiful way here, Pisces. A lot of it is to do with, because you guys are so good at forgiveness, a lot of it is to do with forgiving people in your past in order to have the best present possible. So with the Dreamer, the Lovers, and the Chariot, you are, for a lot of you, one thing that's coming up very clearly is a new chapter in love, particularly karmically. So I think for many of you, the cards that came up love related were connection, Iseult, and fairness. So the Mat card, the Iseult card, and the connection card. So if you are in a new relationship where you're questioning things, I think for a lot of you, this is reassurance that this person is fair and just. Or if you're in a relationship that's going through some trouble where there's conflict, maybe there's a bit of envy and distorted masculine energy. For a lot of you, this will either be healed or you will leave it and find something much more harmonious. Pisces, that's just what the kind of vibe with the Death card and the Fool card. It's a brand new chapter seems to be emerging here in some way, shape or form. And with Isolde, the Undying Love card, I feel for a lot of you it's past life kind of connections. With the Fairness card as well, you could be dealing with a Libra, Cancer, Scorpio, Aries, Aquarius, and Gemini are also coming up as being represented. The fire signs are being represented down here as well by the Queen of Wands. As well as that, we have the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. So I think for a lot of you, you could be dealing with a fire sign where there's a lot of chemistry, a lot of physical attraction, but also a lot of shared goals for the future, and shared aspirations is something that's coming up here as well. For a lot of you, this is you. This is you going into your passions and making quite a lot of money from this. So one of the things that's coming up with that, you know, Mars is in your 6th house for the rest of the year, and this is going to be beautiful for you, Pisces, in terms of making money, and in terms of getting your finances in order, and in terms of building more for yourself in the future. But the key to it, with Mars being there, is taking inspired action based on a strong sense of self-worth. That's the key. So back to the other cards, taking with the Chariot and the Lovers and the Dreamer, going forward with a sense of self-love, self-appreciation, knowing that you've got it together, knowing that you're worth good things, knowing that you're worth financial security, even if, you know, this distorted masculine energy is telling you that money will make you happy. It's not that. It's about having money as energy, money as currency to make your dreams happen, to do the things that you want to do, to help the people you want to help even. It's all to do with accessing that energy of love. You know, it's more to do with security than it is to do with a new purse. You know what I mean? Mars being in Aries is wonderful financially if that's what you're after, with, you know, the 10 of Pentacles and things. It's about building something for yourself. But I think for a lot of you, because it is attaching to your day-to-day routine, you know, many Pisces, your day-to-day routine cannot become mundane. It cannot become jaded and stale and musty. You need to have inspiration. You need to have creativity. You need to have a connection. And one of the things that comes up very strongly is that with the Temple Path, strategy, and the World, I almost feel like some of you are like making a master plan, like your master plan for what it is that you want to do with your life. You know, you're thinking about the bigger questions. Cancer season probably had you thinking a lot to do with your creativity and a lot to do with love. And one of the things as well with Venus moving into Cancer, Pisces, is that love becomes very easy. And although it's going to be met with challenges with your 11th house, which is primarily teaching you, Pisces, that a lot of the time with the 11th house in astrology, my experience has been that your manifestations are more powerful than anything else. So you're being taught to manifest, and you're also being taught where you're manifesting what you don't want. You know, your expectations are leading you down a particular path. So with Venus being in Cancer, and we'll talk more about this in Virgo season, but with Venus being in Cancer, your 5th house of love and romance and creativity and passion and play, having a little bit of a head-on-head conversation with Mars in your financial sector and Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter in your 11th house of wish fulfillment, you have to be very sure of what it is that you want. And I think with the planets going retrograde, Pisces, you're getting closer to know what it is that you want if you don't already, and you're getting closer to knowing what to do about it when you do. With the World and the strategy card, this really does look to me like world domination for you. You know, just having this master plan. Journaling is very important, writing things down and being in touch with your feelings, being in touch with your emotions. Some of you could be writers, some of you could be poets, some of you could be screenwriters, some of you could be wanting to journal, to blog, anything really. I think with the Temple Path as well, you are, for some of you, changing homes or redecorating your home in order to change the energy. You know, a lot of you will be looking into feng shui and seeing where your home, the energy is off or where it needs to be balanced. That kind of thing is very important, Pisces, for you to progress onwards if your energy feels a little bit stale. I think for a lot of you as well, because we had 3 aces. Wow, 3 aces. Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and Ace of Cups. So there's a lot of new things beginning for you in August. I can guarantee for every Pisces there's at least something brand spanking new appearing, whether it's love or whether it is a new relationship, whether it's a new friendship, whether it's a new passion, a new hobby, a new skill. And it's also getting a lot of clarity, Pisces. That full moon in Aquarius is bringing you a lot of clarity of your emotional self, and particularly as far as with the rabbit energy, which is one of your spirit animals for this month, where you've been kind of anxious about things and waiting for the sky to fall. And with Saturn being in your wish fulfillment sector again, Pluto being there, Jupiter being there, you know, Jupiter being there is one of the most auspicious years for you. Just remember that. It's one of the most auspicious, beautiful times to manifest whatever it is that you want. And I think that you can forget that when you're busy soaking up other people's stuff. So make sure that you meditate, make sure that you, with the hummingbird, get your nectar, what it is that makes you feel like you're cleansed, what makes you feel better, what makes you feel happy. With the hummingbird as well, if you're doing music, do more of it, because you need to be able to move your throat chakra, to sing, to express yourself, to sort of be your most authentic self. And I think for a lot of you as well that are men, it's just one thing that's sort of coming up with these cards. I feel that for a lot of you with men that are men, I think that there could be a lot of friends around you who put down your emotions or who don't understand your self-development, or they don't want the same things, and you're being asked a bit to question those kind of relationships if people are making you, even women as well, or however you choose to identify. A lot of you are probably feeling a little bit that people are discrediting your feelings, and it's not because they don't care necessarily, Pisces, but your feelings around the full moon could be wrong. Just bear that in mind. Your intuition, your hunches could be coming from a place of past experience, is all I'm saying, rather than knowing it for sure. And I'm not telling you not to trust your intuition. I'm just telling you that sometimes your intuition can be old story. And you're being asked with the Ace of Swords here to rewrite a story. Especially with the strategy card, a lot of you are rewriting your destiny, which is really cool. And you could be doing it with a fire sign. So an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius could be a big part of your life. I feel like with a fire sign this month, particularly with Iseult and connection, I feel that it is somebody that you've a very strong past life karma with, a strong sense of understanding, a strong sense of compassion, a strong sense of love. And this could be somebody new coming in for you if you're unattached. You could have a bond over music, or they could sing, or there could be some, because I'm just noticing there's a lot of singing references here with the hummingbird as well, and the musical notes. See? Can you see? No, you can't. It won't focus. No. Okay. So there's there's musical notes, and there's champagne. So some of you could be getting engaged. Very nice. But nevertheless, Pisces, there are some things that need to be addressed with that full moon. But in terms of rewriting your strategy, you guys are on a whole other level. You're accessing a whole other level of information. But you need to get past your fear of being accepted. Because I think a lot of you have been seeking to be accepted by the wrong people in life, and that's attracted envy from them. It's not been meeting somebody on a mutual level. It's been somebody taking what they can from you in terms of your advice and your resources and your love, but also, you know, kind of envying the stuff that you do. It's a strange card, I have to say, but I think for a lot of you Pisces, you're plowing forward in a brand new chapter, especially with love. And I think for a lot of you, if you're in relationships, you guys could have a business plan, or you could be working together or in some way, or building something, maybe building a house, maybe deciding to start a family, maybe getting engaged, all this different stuff, maybe moving in together. Whatever it is, Pisces, Venus in Cancer is going to be really beautiful for you. Venus in the 5th house is so I think it's quite Piscean. I think it is a sense of beauty and art and passion and connection and intuition and all these different things. You know, the Lovers makes a lot of sense when Venus is in your 5th house. Really lovely. But overall, Pisces, you're rewriting your destiny, and you're discovering the power of words. So use them wisely. And in particular around the full moon, do be careful with your word choices, just because you might have something wrong. And you need to focus around the full moon, not in discovering what you think other people are up to or being outwardly suspicious, but more so about understanding where it's coming from within you. And I think if you look backwards a little bit, a lot of it is coming from past friendships, past relationships, where there was a distortion of masculine energy. They were telling you what to do, how to behave, how to be, and you know, that could be anywhere in your life. It could be family, it could be school even, it could be anything. But you need to make peace with that in some way, Pisces, and move forward knowing that you are attracting much more fair relationships and fair people now. Okay, so this is a strong indication that if somebody has been unjustified or been unfair, Pisces, I think that you are seeing much different energy now. So the extended is going to be linked below. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Pisces.